load balancing concept, correct? So we discussed about express route and all other stuff, hub and spoke model, and all the concepts which are part of networking. Right, express route, we have spent good amount of our time in understanding how to create, how to configure, how to add a connection. That connection, if you are adding it from a same subscription, what is the procedure? If the connections are trying from a different subscription, how you can authorize and then add a connection. We have seen all different kinds of a express route configuration in the previous session. Along with that, we also seen, right, how you can work with the vendor by sharing the service key, collaborate with your networking team, right? Enable the provisioning your express route, right? And next important thing, we also discussed about hub and spoke model. Guys, do you remember we have talked about hub and spoke model also? What is mean by hub and spoke model? So this is what we discussed in the previous session, right? Whereas you will be having on-premises and you are having your express route in one of the subscription, that subscription to other virtual network from a same subscription, other virtual network from a different subscription, we will do the peering so that your express route can be used by your hub virtual network in the same way your spoke virtual networks. But in a spoke virtual network, you don't have a express route, but still they could avail the services from the hub. This is the main agenda. This concept is clear, guys, hopefully, which we have discussed in the previous session. So this image also been uploaded in your SharePoint. Have a look at it. After this session, if you guys have any questions, do let me know. Yeah. After which we immediately jump on to the load balancer concept. As name suggests, it will balance the load to your virtual machine. Let's say you are having multiple virtual machines which are serving the application in a real-time scenario, right? It will definitely not one virtual machine serves your production application. Correct? You will be having multiple virtual machines for a high availability purpose to make sure them to add availability zones or availability sets so that any failures we can withstand. That is the main agenda, correct? So when you are having multiple virtual machines which are serving your application, so we need to balance the load, right? So high availability is one part, and we need to balance the load which comes from the internet or intranet. For internet-based applications, we have an external load balancer. For internal application, internal in the sense, these applications are meant to be accessed within your organization, within the cloud environment, or within an on-premises to cloud environment. In such cases, we'll go with the internal load balancer, and we'll also gonna see what is mean by port forwarding using how we can NAT the rules, network address translator, how we can configure also, we will see. Right? This is a public load balancer where you will be having internet is coming from like traffic is coming from an internet, hitting the public load balancer over the port number 80. That load balancer will be sending the traffic to, let's say you're having 3 virtual machines. The traffic will be distributed across these 3 virtual machines on a round robin fashion. What does mean by round robin fashion? So round robin fashion in the sense it will be send the traffic one after another, which are all available nodes. Let's say you are having 3 nodes. First request will be kind of send it to the VM01, second request to VM02, third request will be VM03, fourth request again will be sent back to the VM01. Kind of a loop it will maintain. That concept will call it as a round robin method. Clear, guys? Shall we go ahead and create a load balancer now? You just go to create a new resource, type load balancer. We're not getting Microsoft Azure load balancer, we're getting third-party products. Let me search all the products here. So the first one is load balancer from Microsoft. This is what we want to create. These are all third-party products which are giving same load balancer services. Click on create. For an interview standpoint, guys, when someone is asking about load balancer concept, do remember this when you're explaining. It uses the 5-tuple protocol, right? This is the 5-tuple protocol, we'll call it as. So for now, I'm not explaining what is mean by this 5-tuple and other stuff. Post our concept is done of a load balancer, you will understand this particular part. Now, if I say it will be right, it will be difficult to understand. Let's wait. But for an interview standpoint, guys, load balancers use this particular 5-tuple protocol. What is mean by 5-tuple? Source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port, and protocol. Right? You will get understand post completion of our load balancer concept. For now, just keep it in your mind. I will explain post which. So I'm just creating load balancer now. So I'm going to create one load balancer -RG. I'm gonna create this one, let's say public LB01. Region, I wanna use Korea Central. So Chiranjeev, you have created the Linux virtual machines by any chance?
No, it didn't allow me actually. I tried for a longer time for selection. You
No,
told me, right? So you can't, I mean, it's not allowing me basically. I tried for
that
some
is
time.
fine.
But I just created the VNet and all, but
That is
VM.
that's okay. I will do it. So if you could see here, region is Korea Central. When I'm selecting region as a Korea Central, right, we need our virtual machines also is available under Korea Central. So we'll create that. Next option is queue size. Queue size is something you could say standard and basic. Always recommended in going to the standard tier where you will be having good amount of features. What are those features? If you click on it here, this will give you an understanding about what are the different differences between your standard and basic load balancer. If you could see, basic load balancer supports only the number of hosts, right, in the back end. It does support only 300. Let's say you are having very big application, right? It does support only 300 virtual machines only in the back end. But when it comes to standard, it does support 1000 virtual machines. All right, we're going to talk about front-end IPs and all other stuff, high availability, zone redundant. All those things will not be supported in a basic load balancer. One more important thing is that if you want to use HTTPS based traffic, let's say 443 traffic, this is not basic load balancer will not support. Right? You can explore this one because now if I say front end, back end health probe, you will definitely be confused. But post completion of this session, you will have a better understanding about it. Okay, these differences. So the public IP which is required, so public or internal. So in this particular scenario, I am going with the public load balancer. Okay, guys, I'm going with the public load balancer. Tier is regional or as the global one. So I'm just, it will just support balance when there is a workloads in a different region as well. Okay, in this scenario, I'm going with the region based load balancer deployment so that first we'll understand how does this load balancer does function. When it comes to front end IP configuration, right? This is the IP. So in this diagram, we are saying that boss, if you have a traffic comes in, it will in the middle component is a load balancer component and it is reaching to backend virtual machines. So to communicate with the internet, it requires an IP address, right? Front end. Otherwise, it will not communicate with the internet. So which IP you need to communicate with the internet, whether you need a public IP or a private IP?
Private one.
To the internet. If you want to have an access to the internet,
Public IP.
public.
Public.
So here also you should have an IP address. We'll call them as a front end IP. You need to create one public IP. Let's say this is my app 01, application 01, and here I don't have an public IP. So I'm just saying that this IP name is app 01 public IP. Right? This zone redundant by default is enabling because we're in a standard one, but I don't need an availability zone feature. Click on OK. So what will happen, guys, with this setting now? It will, your traffic will land on this app 01 public IP. Okay. Next screen is backend pools. It means you have your virtual traffic from internet is landing at public IP of a load balancer. Now it should send the traffic to backend pools, right? The virtual machines. That virtual machines will be added to the backend pools. We'll add it later point in time. First, let me, because I am yet to create the virtual machines. Backend pools, inbound rules, outbound rules, tags, everything we will discuss now. So we have used which location, guys? Korea Central, right? If you could see here, I'm having a virtual machine which is there in Korea Central. It's the Windows machine. I'm gonna delete it. Now I'm going to create one Ubuntu machine, Linux machine. Resource group is load balancer -rg. VM name is VM-001 Korea Central. This is 2 core and 8 GB is available for me. So in this scenario, I was for a training purpose, I'm using only password based authentication. But in real time, guys, make sure you are using key based authentication. Click on desk networking. So let me see, is there any virtual networks is available? Here I don't have any VNets. So I'm going to create one virtual network. Let's say it is VNet in Korea Central, KC. So I'm just want to use 10.120.0.0/24 and subnet is app subnet, which is 10.120.0.0/26, 64 IP addresses. And when it comes to public IP, guys, you just need to create a standard public IP because our load balancer is standard, so that your virtual machine public IP also should be part of standard. Click on OK. Rest everything, I'm not changing anything, guys. Click on create. Okay. Similarly, minimum I should have 2 VMs, so then only I could show you the load balancer, right? So I'm just creating one more virtual machine. That is my VM-002 Korea Central. This time also same size. Username is Azure admin. Brightness, everything is okay. When it comes to virtual network, Korea Central VNet-KC application subnet, it automatically selected because we just created out of it. Public IPs make sure to give as a standard. Click on OK. That's it. As it is open source one, it will ask for a contact number also. Now let me go back to the resource group of LB-RG. I'm having a resource group under which you could see the VM01 is already created. Till now, what we have done, guys, we have created one load balancer and we are creating two virtual machines, assuming that our traffic is typically being, our application is typically running at VM001 and VM02002. And then we want to balance the load using a public load balancer, the traffic which is trying to access from virtual machines. This is the agenda of this session. Is it clear, guys, what we are doing now? Able to
Yes.
follow? Venkat, Harsha, Saidu, Chiranjeevi.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So I'm just logging into a VM. What we will do, we'll just install one Apache Tomcat on it. Okay. So if you could see now, what I will do, I will change it to the root sudo. I'm in a root now. To install that, you have where it is. Commandlets have been taken. There is a notepad file which I have taken. Just give me a minute. So this will be apt-get update. So if you run this command, what will happen? It will update the operating system if there is any missing patches. And then we're going to install a software called Apache 2. So this will install one Apache Tomcat on this virtual machine apt-get install Apache 2. So I'm clicking on S. So what it will do, guys, it will install the Apache Tomcat on this particular virtual machine. So now, how can we confirm that whether application is installed Apache Tomcat is running on the server? If you just take this public IP, put on the browser, you will be getting your application will be accessed here. Right? We just installed one Apache Tomcat on it. That application should be reachable in this public IP. Why it is not loading? Any idea? The site cannot be reached. Any idea, guys, why the site is not able to reach? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Your application is running on which port? Port 80 or port 443?
443. 80.
80. So if you want to access any application over the port number 80, where you will allow and deny the traffic? You have a component called network security groups. We discussed, right? NSG. You remember? Network security groups. So if you could see now, by default, you have a port number is 22 is allowed. That's why I'm able to take an RDP, correct? Or SSH. Similarly, if you want to access a website which is running on port number 80, what do you need to do? You need to allow that particular port also, that HTTPS port or HTTP port. In this scenario, I am just allowing HTTP port number 80. Click on, you can change the name is HTTP. Click on add. So what I have just done now, I was allowing port number 80 if someone want to trying to communicate from any source, any destination. The rule is saying allow the connection. Are able to see now HTTP port number 80 from any source, any destination is allowed. If I go back here and I refresh, let's see whether I am able to get the traffic. Am I getting a response? Guys,
Yeah.
right? Similarly, what this is virtual machine 01 application. Now what I will do, I will go back to my resource group, refresh it, VM02 I will take. Similar application I will install. There it is putty. So apt get update. It will update the patches if something is missing. Next one is apt-get install Apache Tomcat. Yes, I want to install. Now, if I want to access this application, similarly, what I will do, I will go take this public IP, trying to access this application. Am I able to access, guys? Is it loading?
No, sir.
Why it's not loading?
Enable security group.
So you need to allow the port number 8 in a real-time scenario also. Your application guys will access, request this particular similar request that was my application is running. It might be port 80, 80, 90, 90. They will give you the port number. It is your responsibility to allow the particular traffic. Otherwise, it will not communicate. Now I have allowed the port number 80. If I go ahead and refresh, let's see whether it's able to access the website. Still, it is not running. The installation is done. Yes, it is up and running. Let me restart. Now, are you able to get the website here? Now we are having two virtual machines, VM001, VM002 is running one very small application. This is a default web page from Apache, right? Which is a default website. If you want to change some content here, you need to change under this path /var/www.html index.html. If you insert some content on it so that your website content will be saved. Okay, now how can you identify this traffic is coming from VM01, this traffic is coming from VM02? How you can identify by seeing the website? We don't have any other option because both are same only. For that, what I'm doing now, I'm putting some kind of a content here in a VM01 and VM02. I'm just going here, echo is the command, put and insert some command, Azure training 27. Content will be application running from VM-001. Right? What is the path, guys, here? This is the path. I want to insert this particular command. Click on it. If I go back my virtual machine 001 now, this is my virtual machine 001. Refresh it. What is the website content now replaced here? Now you know from application is running from which virtual machine?
001. Yeah.
Yeah, my application is running, but this application I am accessing from VM001. Similarly, I will go to this one also. Let me copy this entire thing so that I need to paste it once again. Or I will take this one. I will copy this. So I will paste it here. This time, where is this application I want to show you? From a VM002. Copy VM002. Right click, paste it. Same command, but this time I just change it to VM002. I'm going back to my browser. This is my VM002 website. I'm just refreshing it. From where I'm getting the traffic now, my application. Which virtual machine is serving now?
002.
So why I have done this? First in place is that, guys. Now I am going to access these two applications from using a load balancer concept. Right? So that when I'm hitting a load balance, you should know which virtual machine is serving. In a real-time scenario, this is not the case. You will be having similar application only. I intentionally kept two different applications. One application is 001, other application is 002. So that you will understand while I'm accessing my load balancer, which application is serving in the backend. But when it comes to real time, guys, make sure your two virtual machines or five virtual machines or 10 virtual machines serving for one application will have a similar content. Am I clear? Now, I will go back to my load balancer RG. I will navigate to the load balancer also. Where is my load balancer here? LB. Where is the load balancer? This is one. Public load balance. This is what we have created, right? Now, when you see this on a first time on a overview, what all you are able to see on a overview? Backend pools is 0, load balancer is 0, health probes are 0, no rules, nothing. Is a plain load balancer. For that, what we need first in place, we need one front-end IP. That is my application front-end IP. So we have created one front-end IP. It means from internet, if someone is hitting this public IP, so backend, these two applications should give a service. That is the agenda of this session. Front end we have created already. In a real-time scenario, if you are having 100 applications, back end you are having 200 servers, still you can add 100 public IPs under same load balancer only, and you can add 100 different backend pools. 100 different applications also can run using single load balancer. In our session, as part of our demonstration, we are using only one application using one front-end load balancer, public IP, and one backend pool. When I say the backend pool, nothing but your virtual machine which is serving in the backend. Right? Let's say this is pool 01 is the name, and I'm selecting from where? VNet-KC, Korea Central. Click on add virtual machines. So how many virtual machines you have here? Two virtual machines. In a real-time scenario, under this VNet-KC, if you are having 200 virtual machines, all 200 will be listed down here. You need to search which virtual machine you want to do the load balancing. It's a training purpose, a pretty much straightforward. You are seeing only two. In a real-time scenario, you will be having multiple VMs in the same subnet. In that, which virtual machines you want to do the load balancer, you need to be selected those only. Is it clear, guys? How to add the backend pools? Click on add. Two servers, click on add. So that what will happen? I am having one front end. That particular public IP traffic is received. I am saying you use this backend pool with the two virtual machines, that is VM001 and VM002. It won't take much time for addition of a load balancer. Now the pool has been added. You have two virtual machines. Now you need to configure this health probes and load balancer rules. Then only you can use your front-end IP to access the application, guys. Adding only front-end and back-end, it will not work. You are just saying two different components. Front-end, you are having one public IP. Back-end, you are having two virtual machines. And these two virtual machines having running the application. Now you need to combine these two. Let's say if someone is hitting this IP, okay, this server should give a service. And which port your application is running, guys? On these two servers, what is the port number? What is,
80.
sorry?
80.
Yeah, port number 80, right? So load balancer should know, right, which server is running the port number 80. That server only you send the traffic, correct? That kind of an intelligence it should have, correct? So where it is, yeah. So for that, what we need to do, we need to create a probing. So probing in the sense, what it will do, it will keep on checks. Load balancer will use this probing and checks that whether this particular port number is 80 is running within the server or not. Because if port number 80 HTTP traffic is not running in the backend, what will happen, guys? Your application will not run, correct? So your load balancer should know which server is healthy. How it can be identified? By checking the traffic, HTTP traffic. So I'm just naming as a HTTP. My protocol also is HTTP protocol, port number of an 80. Path is entire path, route in the sense entire application path, interval, every 5 seconds, it will check. Every 5 seconds, what it will do? It will hit your backend pool, check for port number 80 is giving a response or not. If it is giving a response, then only load balancer will send the traffic. If it is not giving a response 2 times, consecutive unhealthy thresholds, it means first 5 seconds, if assume that VM01 is not giving a response on port number 80, next 5 seconds not giving a response, then if the 2 consecutive thresholds are failed, then it will consider that, okay, my backend pool VM01 is not healthy, don't send the traffic. Clear, guys? These values, interval, threshold values, it can be defined by ourselves. Let's say you want to change it to 10 seconds and you want to consider, let's say, 3 consecutive failures. You can do that. No problem in that. Okay, but did you guys understand what is mean by probing first in place? Venkat, Harsha, Saidu, Chiranjeevi, is it clear what is mean by probing?
Yeah.
Okay, done. Now click on add. So what it will do, guys, this without health probe, you cannot route the traffic. You should need to remember this. You should have the probing to be enabled. Then only your load balancer will use this probing, check for the backend virtual machine's health. Okay. Now we created a route now. We'll create a rule now. I'm just adding a probe. This has been added. Now this is the final stage of configuration. You need to add the rule. Let's say I'm just saying that this is a rule 01. Front end is app01 public IP. So my intent is here, if I hit this 20.214, 185.87, I want to access the application which is running on VM001, VM002. So what is my backend pool I want to select? Pool 01. Which port, guys, my application is running? Port number 80. I want to access. Backend virtual machines also is running on port number 80. First port number is refers to which port number you want to access from internet. Backend port in the sense on which port number your application is running. In this scenario, both are port number 80 only. Which health probe you want to use it for this traffic rule? I want to use HTTP rule because my application is running on port number 80. Is it clear, guys, these configurations what we have made till now? Till backend port, health probe. Next one is session persistence. Session persistence none in the sense whenever end users are trying to access the application, any virtual machine in the backend will give the service, whichever is available. If you select the client IP, what will happen? Let's say the traffic is coming from my laptop using this public IP. What is my public IP, guys? If you just go to the browser, type what is my IP. I'm having, this is the public IP is assigned to that my particular laptop. If the traffic is coming from this public IP, assume that for a first time VM001 is given a service, right? With this setting, what will happen? Whenever I try to access application, my traffic is directly go and serve from 001 only. It will not check for 002 with this setting. If you are changing to IP and protocol, let's say the similar concept, the traffic is coming from my laptop to this load balancer with a port number 80. Protocol is nothing but which protocol? HTTP, HTTPS protocols. If the same protocol also is matching in the backend, again the respective virtual machine will give the service. Right? None, client IP and protocol. This Very important question when it comes to interview. What is meant by session persistence in load balancer? So I'm going with a none. Ideal timeout, you are accessing an application, right? It will get timed out in 4 minutes. After 4 minutes, again, it will try to initiate the connection whether the application is alive or not. So TCP reset, this protocol can be reset, right? Some application guys will explicitly request to enable this TCP reset, otherwise it is not necessary. Floating IPs, again, this will be used for your SQL always on concept. If you are using Azure load balancer, this floating IP has to be enabled. Otherwise, these options are not necessary to be enabled. Let it go with the default only. This is how you can add the load balancer rule. If you just see, it is not something difficult one. It's pretty much easy that you just provide a name. IP version 4 is the IP data. Front end, you need to select back end. It means which front end public IP you want to send it to the which backend pool. That's it. It's a one-on-one. It's pretty much easy. When you have multiple, you should be select appropriate ones. What is the front end port? What is the back end port? I want to use 80 and 80. Which health probe you want to associate to this rule? This is HTTP rule. That's it. These are all the pretty basic configuration. You click on add.
Surendra, I have a question.
Hmm.
Yeah, see, you created a pool, with the set of virtual machines which you have created, right? As you
Correct.
said, in the real-time scenario, we'll have hundreds of virtual machines, right? So when you say hundreds of virtual machines, like, at the time of setting up the VM, a few virtual machines may be selected with the public IP and few will be private. And if you go to the, screen where we configure the pool, right? It's not showing like, can you come to the, where we configure the pool? Yeah. Yeah, we just list the virtual machines, right? VM.
Yeah.
So you just added for pool one, you added the virtual machine, correct? Virtual
Correct.
machine. So how we know, like, what protocol it is, like, set, sorry, it's a public IP or a private IP by seeing this. While adding, like, say, when you say, if I want to add, like, say, out of 100, 50 of the virtual machines to this public, this public load balancer, how will I know the particular virtual machine is configured or set up by public IP or a private IP? Because, all the public, IP related VMs need to be under a public load balancer group, right? So how I can differentiate those? Where I can check when
No,
selecting?
no, but as part of selecting, if you get see here, we are selecting based on the virtual network. Are you able to see this?
Yeah,
So,
no, that's correct. When you click add now, virtual machine, the add button which you see here, yeah,
yeah.
it just shows the VM, correct? How are you out of 100? How I the 50 VMs which is part of like public network? How I can differentiate like while selecting? For example, it has mix of
Now in this screen, you don't have an option, Acharinji, but if you just go here, click on virtual machine. In this screen, you can differentiate it. Are you able to see only these two VMs has a public IPs?
okay. We need to differentiate that. We need to collect information from the screen. Okay.
Yes, yes. First, we should have a information before going and setting up the load balancer.
Okay, fine, fine. Okay, we need to get the information from here. Then, while selecting those VMs under the pool, we need to be cautious. Okay, clear. What happens if I wrongly add a VM which is having a private IP over there?
It will not
If I
function.
add,
It doesn't
I
know where
can
to go.
I can add I edit also, right? After adding the to the pool, I can remove also, right? The
Yes,
virtual
yes.
machine which is not.
Yes, you can.
Hello.
You can do that.
Okay.
Let's say if I go to the load balancer, backend pools. Today you don't want this 0011, 003, you just remove it directly.
Okay, fine, clear.
You can do that. The editing part can be done. Adding
Because
it.
here in the screen it's not showing like what is the public IP over here. So that's why I had it out actually. The screen
Understand.
was yeah. Okay, clear.
So this is how you need to configure. Now you could see which is the backend pool, two virtual machines, Load balancing rule is rule 01. Health probe is HTTP. Now are you able to see all these rules are right? Now,
Uh, so then one more question. See, when it comes to like you said like whatever the services you opt in Azure, it will be chargeable, right? On
yes.
what basis you pick like see if I want to increase if you want to add more VMs to this particular pool, right?
Mhm.
Again, how about the charges? Like will they'll charge for this load balancer? Or they'll charge individual options what we select.
No, no, it will
Just a
be
general.
charged based on the rules and it will be charged based on the amount of traffic it does serve.
It does. Okay.
That will get very, yeah.
Okay. It's not like for HTTP some cost it will
No,
differentiate based on the protocol also, right? No.
no, it will cost you based on the number of rules and based amount of traffic it is serving.
Okay, fine. Because I just see this Azure price calculator. They
Uh,
didn't micro pinpointing to each and every service they refer to. So that's it. Okay. No, I just see that. Okay, got it.
okay, done. So each and every service, as you rightly been checking, this is the URL of pricing calculator, right? Whatever we are discussing in the session, each and every service cost details you can find it here. Everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I want to access my application using load balancer. This is my public load balancer. In a real time, what you can do, guys, for this particular IP address, you will map it to the name that will call it as a DNS, domain naming server, where you can typically map this public IP to the required domain name. Let's say you want to access this website with the name of azuretraining.com. But we need to map it and use. For now, we are using direct public IP only. So I'm going to the next browser, typing it, click on enter. So when you are hitting only the public IP address, it will by default, it will take the port number 18. Or if you just want to precisely mention HTTP colon, both ways are same only, right? So which virtual machine is serving now for me? Load balancer, guys. Which virtual machine in the backend is serving now? I am hitting a load balancer. I'm getting a response, an application is running. From which virtual machine it is?
It's 2002. Okay.
So if I refresh, which virtual machine it went on now?
Okay. 01. Okay.
So is it balancing the load? One request went on 002. Second time if I request went on 001. So again if I do the refresh, it is going to again 002. You understand the concept how it's behaving load balancer? Seems
Yes.
to be so much confusion, Venkat, Harsha. You guys are so silent.
No, Chiranjeev sir, we'll see this recording again and I'll get
At least on a high level able to follow Venkat.
Yes.
The name suggests is load balancer. That concept is clear. At least leave up the technology. You can learn it from anywhere. Okay, if you're not understanding here, you can go through the articles, some other recordings or videos. You could understand the concept. My intention is at least on a high level what it means. If you could able to follow that particular thing alone, that helps you in understanding the concept. That's what my requirement. Venkat.
Yeah, Surendra. So
Yeah.
that one.
Okay, so this is how if you want, you can access this IP 20.214.185.87 in your mobile or in your laptop. You could see the application is giving a response.
Okay.
Okay, this is all about load balancer concept, guys. Do the practice, try to remove everything and use the virtual machines which I created, right? Delete this load balancer, create one more load balancer, create all those things step by step. That will give you the confidence that you can do this as a load balancer configuration. Otherwise, by listening to it, will be pretty much easy and straightforward. But when it comes to reality, you will face the difficulty.
Surendra, what is this access control over there in the left hand side? Can we? Yeah.
So this is nothing but RBAC, what we have discussed initially, first session, no?
Yeah. No, again for the load balance also, okay. We can go with, okay.
Your
What is this first?
RBAC,
Anyway, load balancer will be handled by admin only, right? Why we need to go with access, providing access to
the design is like this. Your RBACs can be provided at subscription level. That is Azure training.
Right, right.
You can provide RBAC here. Next thing
Right.
is, if you want to granular level of a control, you can provide access on a resource group level. Let's say here also you have an access control, resource group level.
Mhm.
Let's say you want to provide access, right? 1 second. You want to provide an access on a subscription level, it is possible. A resource group level, it is possible. Similarly, on top of a resource level also it is possible. 3 layers. One
Can you
is
see once actually, because I just read that, can you just click, I mean, just see what type of access we can provide?
everything. Whatever do it on a subscription, everything can be done. So this is how it
Uh, no, I just read it here. See, for this particular subscription, for example, if I add my email ID to access, by default, if I log into the portal, it will redirect to my, the portal with my username, username password, right? It just prompt me to log in.
is. Let me give an example. Subscription 01. This is RG01. This is resource 01. Resource 01 in the sense it can be a virtual machine, it can be a load balancer, it can be whatever VNet, it can be storage, anything, guys. It's a resource for me, correct? Now I am an administrator, correct? To manage this, what I will do in a RBAC, I will give you the permission as owner on top of where I've given
Subscription.
the access
Subscription level.
subscription. So when you given a subscription, your permissions will be inherited from a subscription to resource group to resource automatically.
Hmm.
You will have owner privilege across all, whatever you create under this subscription. That is design. Now, I have joined in your team, Sudhakar, and I am responsible to manage only RG01. You don't
Okay.
want me to manage RG02. So what he will do, he will give a owner privilege for me only on RG02. So what will happen now? The permissions will be inherited. Resource group level, I am having a owner. My permissions will come down to resources which are all there under RG01.
Okay.
It means here also I will work as a owner only. These 2 layers. Assume third level of a scenario. You don't want me to control resource group. You don't want me to control subscription. You want me to manage only the virtual machine as a resource. In
Okay,
that,
under RG01. Okay.
under RG on a resource level, that is assume that load balancer is you want me to manage. Here only will allow me as a owner.
Okay.
In this case, my permissions are only capable enough to manage here only, nothing else. Nowhere I can do any kind of a management because you given me access only resource level. From a top level to bottom level, your permissions will be inherited. Last level is a resource. First level is subscription. Middle level is resource group.
Okay, understood.
Is that concept clear?
Yeah, clear.
Roles, when it comes to roles, all roles will be available. Whatever is there in a subscription, that same will be available in resource level also.
Okay, understood. Okay, here I can give if I have a RG02, virtual machine for those.
Let's say you are a main owner for a subscription, right? There is a 4 resource group, RG01. You want me to manage Surendra, RG02 to Harsha, RG03 to Venkat. So what you will do, you will not allow permissions for us on a subscription level. You will give permissions on a resource group level only,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will save this and upload also for you.
Okay.
Yep.
So then you have installed these two which VMs, right? Linux VMs. Can you log in? I mean, just open the putty session.
Yeah, this is VM001.
df minus h.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, like how we didn't go with the mounts and all. Now, where the data will be stored? You just install. Now, where it got installed?
The
Under
root
which
partition only, no?
root partition? No, how to make? Can I go with my own I mean, partitioning here based on the
Yes.
sizing in the
Yes, you
putty
can add.
section,
You
or
can add.
again we need to go to the portal and do this?
Here you need to add disks for your virtual machine, no?
Oh, everything through portal only, not through Linux. In my Linux machines, I can't do anything, right?
Physically, you need to give it from the portal only, no? For now, you are having 30 GB of a disk.
Correct.
This is a root partition. If you want
Right.
to bring on your own partition, first you need to add a disk with the required capacity. And then you log into the machine and then do the management.
Okay, then it will different. Okay, okay. But usually, if you have a partition at the line, usually Linux box, management will be there only, right? If I have a free disk space, like, we create our own mount points, right? Based on.
Here also, it is not like everything is used. 30 GB is fully used. We have 28 GB is free here.
Correct, correct.
So you can make use of this. However,
No, no, my question is, if I, for example, like I have 28 GB, if I want to split and, create a, second mount here, if I want to reuse the space, so can I do it on the Linux machine itself, or like we need to do the partitioning in the portal to
so
get it reflected here?
partitioning cannot be, no need to do it in a portal. Whatever is possible on a OS level operations, no,
Mhm.
Chiranjeev, it will be the same.
Same
Wherever
only.
it runs, it doesn't matter that it is running in Azure. You don't have a permissions. No. Within the OS level, it is same only. It can
Yeah.
run from anywhere. It can run from an Oracle virtual box in your laptop. It can run from Azure. It can run from AWS. OS level operations, there is no difference for you. It is same.
Okay, and where is the storage part comes into picture? Do we discuss storage accounts and all, right? How again, like, in the putty session itself, like in this Linux server, we need to mount that storage here, or like, by default it will be how I can access the storage, the accounts which we in earlier sessions we have discussed about storage accounts, right?
Correct.
For this particular VM, how it will be mapped here, the storage account.
No, the question is why you want to map.
See, the share, we have the different options, the file shares, or like, whatever. If I want to share something, like, if I have log files here, for example, on the server, if you want to get it back to some place,
So that
how I can do.
configuration, you have an URLs, no? So that URLs is if it is allowed to communicate from this network, or if you're allowed from all, you can communicate and configure it as a path. If you want to mount it, file share alone can be mounted. For that, you should be having, where is the storage account? Let's see if I go here, storage account, file share. Let's say this is share 01 and I just creating it. This is the folder, for example, Chiranjeev, you want to mount it to your Linux machine, correct? So click on connect. By default, it gives you a script for Windows machine, which we have seen as part of our training, correct?
Correct. Correct.
Similarly, you have something called Linux.
Oh, okay.
You
We need
just
to go.
copy and run it, it will mount it.
Oh, okay, clear, clear. And okay, the storage accounts were meant only for this, right? We can't, for all the VMs, you can't mount and use it, right? Wherever it needed, we need to use that storage account over there, correct?
Correct, you can use it. That is correct.
Clear.
It is not necessary that file share can be used only for a Windows. No, it can be mounted to the Linux. It can be mounted to the Mac, anywhere you want. Only requirement is what is the port should be allowed outbound? 445 port.
Okay.
If that port is allowed, you are good to connect.
Allowed where? From the destination server, or
From a
from the
virtual machine to the outside world.
okay. Okay, where it will be opened at the virtual, when we create a virtual machine, we need to set up, we need to open the ports over there, right?
So where you will typically manages the ports. We just allowed one port number 80. Where did I allowed?
I think networking.
Under network security.
Yeah.
So this is the inbound rule.
Correct.
When I
Correct.
say the outbound, you need to click
We
on
need
the
to add.
outbound.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. We need to allow the port over here. Okay.
So here in this case, what is the internet? Is there any block here?
No,
All ports,
allowed.
all protocols, destination is internet. I have allowed. This is a default rule.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Clear. And I have one more question. What is meant by transit VNet? I read somewhere like it's talking about transit VNet, and what does it mean?
I really don't know from what you are referring. Transit.
VNet, yeah, 1 minute. I'll just in Azure, yeah. Yeah, creating a transit VNet using VNet peering. Then it's there in the Azure. 1 minute. I'll just paste it to.
So this is what they're referring. So transit VNet in the sense your hub network where you have are able to see I have mentioned gateway transit here in my hub and spoke model when I'm explaining.
Yeah.
So hub network will work as a transit. Spoke network will be remote gateway. These are all the options
Mm-hmm.
you need to communicate.
Okay, this in the other times around they're talking about as a transit VNet. Okay, this hub
So
and spoke model.
wherever you have a gateway created, no, that
Mm-hmm.
VNet will be become as a gateway transit. Transit VNet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's a similar topic what we discussed, but they're just referring as transit VNet. Okay,
That's correct. Yeah. That's why I
clear.
mentioned here gateway transit while I'm explaining also.
No, because I'm just reading the notes and all. They're just referring, about how to create VNet traffic and
Okay.
so on. So
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, clear. I'm good. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, any other questions? Okay. If there is no further questions, we'll wind up.
One more. See, you just installed this Apache Tomcat by default setup, right? If I
Yes.
want to install some other application like SAP or e-business and all, if I have a software, I need to place it in the storage account. Then I need to mount that particular mount onto the.
You can download it. No, if it's open, if it's available in internet, you can download it directly. No, it has internet, right?
Okay, directly to the where I can download to the disk, right? If I don't want to use the disk actually, can I put it on the storage and install directly onto the VM?
Yes, you can do that.
The software will be on my storage. The installables I need to install it on that over to the disk actually. Can I do it? Because I can save most.
Yes, you can do that. No.
That's with the same process what you showed, right? We need to mount the first to mount the
File
storage onto the VM. Then I
Correct.
need to install access that particular installable over there and install. Correct.
That's it. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Okay. And one more thing, where I can see the restrictions actually, for example, like, Oracle applications won't, Oracle products, right? Most of the products won't be supported on AWS, environment. In Azure, like where I can see the restrictions actually, like, see, say for example, AWS is not like, partnered with Oracle. So most of the products won't like, Oracle won't support if I install by force also. The license won't be, valid for those installations on AWS basically. How about Azure? Like, are there any products which have restrictions or like,
That restriction has to be validated at your product end only. Let's say if I am selling the product, I will give you the prerequisites and best practices. Let's say if it's Azure virtual machine, if it is supported first in place. Yes, if it's supported, then they will give you the
where I can check the support metrics. The reason why I'll say no in AWS, if you log in itself, in the page itself, it clearly mentioned like, for Oracle products, right? Please check with Oracle vendor with the support the install, the product on AWS or not. That's a statement which we see all the time when we go for, because we have other applications running on AWS. There's no Oracle support. We are supporting by ourselves. Okay, no patches, no updates, nothing will be from Oracle. So likewise, is there any restrictions when it comes to Azure where I can see those restrictions, like, say for SAP, vendor support won't be, I mean, what all products are licensed with Azure basically?
So I was just giving you a similar one, which I found it. Generally, the vendor will help you, but yes, if you want, this is the URL, Oracle applications runs on Azure. So
Can you
this
please
is,
put
they
in
are
chat?
giving a support. Oracle database, enterprise application, Azure
No,
cloud is
I can't see your screen. Can you place it in the chat? The link
I
which.
placed in the chat. Let me
No,
give it in the WhatsApp.
I didn't see the chat window. It says like
That,
disabled.
that is fine. Let me give it in a WhatsApp.
Because we work mostly on Oracle products, and AWS is not at all supported for any point. So
Yeah, I understand.
okay. Okay, fine. Okay, this okay, fine, got it. Yeah, thank you. I just go through this. I'll just read out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like SAP, Oracle, they will give you the best practices, which sizes is recommended for which database, and all other things will be there.
No. If it's licensed or certified, whatever you're saying is true. If I go to Oracle saying like AWS, they won't see that they just blindly close the service request. So saying like Oracle was not licensed with AWS. That's the only statement we see. We don't know why, what, nowhere actually. It won't be
Because
clear statement.
your partner, you should have a partner with the vendor. Let's say
No,
now.
we are actually the update when you say like if I say a customer is asking to install Oracle apps in over AWS, if I place a request to Oracle, right, like saying like these are the requirement from customer, they'll say don't use AWS, just use Oracle Cloud. So it's a single line statement. So we opened many actually. We didn't get clarity for any of those.
Okay. Because when it comes to hardware also, no, that hardware also need to be certified by the vendor.
Yeah, true, correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
if they're not certified, they will not give a support.
Support, true.
Because they will say that this particular hardware where you run, which is not authorized by us.
Correct.
It is happens. I have seen the real use case with SAP HANA. If I want to run my SAP HANA on Azure or AWS or GCP, first concept is as it's certified by SAP.
Right.
Vendor has to give a signal that boss, yes, your hardware is capable enough to run my application.
Okay.
If that particular hardware is not capable enough to run, then SAP will not support. First case itself is unsupported physical hardware. Hence, I will not going to support you any issues.
Oh, okay. See.
That is how it will be.
No, here my question is about the application front. Basically, Oracle apps is like purely ERP, right? The entire suite won't be supported basically. Database will be supported. They'll say like Oracle database can be supported. Application was not part of license for kind of action. No problem. Anyway, thank you, Senator. I just read out. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah.
Thanks. So tomorrow again the same time or like
Same
do you
time.
have evening
From
today?
12,
There's no evening class, right?
no evening class. From tomorrow on, it will be the same class in the morning 8.
Fine. Clear. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.